Have you ever woken up with that feeling that today will be just like every other day? Wake up, rush around, work, come home, and deep down feel that nothing really changes? Well, it's in that exact moment, the instant when the mind awakens, that conscious millionaires access a power that most people completely ignore. While some wake up thinking about bills, others connect to a frequency that bends reality, an ancient science, rediscovered by Itzhak Bentov, capable of transforming simple thoughts into prosperity energy. What you're about to hear now is not just a spiritual technique, it's consciousness technology. A ritual that acts upon your energetic field, reprograms your subconscious mind, and tunes your body to the frequency of universal abundance. Does it sound like mysticism? Bentov proved otherwise. He showed that in the first seconds after waking, your brain enters a vibrational range so powerful it can literally shape the course of your day and your financial life. While the world still awakens amid noise, those who understand this silent science pronounce a mantra that alters reality itself. A simple set of words, spoken with awareness, creates an electromagnetic pulse capable of attracting wealth, opportunities, and meaningful coincidences. And the most impressive part, all of this happens naturally, without effort, because the universe responds to vibration, not to will. If you feel you've done everything and prosperity still seems to escape you, perhaps what's missing isn't action, it's attunement. Because money, according to Bentov, isn't conquered, it's attracted by resonance. And today you're going to understand how this resonance is created. Prepare yourself. This is not a video to listen to while distracted. It's a deep dive into a wisdom that unites science, spirituality, and consciousness. When you understand what happens inside your mind in the first minutes of the morning, you'll never see the act of waking up the same way again. In the first moments of dawn, when the body hasn't yet realized that the day has begun, something magnificent occurs within the human mind. It's the threshold between dream and waking, the point where consciousness touches the boundary between two worlds, the invisible and the tangible. Itzhak Bentov called this state the sacred window, a moment when the mind still vibrates in the theta frequency, between 4 and 8 Hz, and reality, for instance, becomes moldable like clay in the hands of one who awakens. In this state, the brain isn't just waking up. It's connecting with the unified field of existence, the same field that pulses in the stars, in subatomic particles, and in the heart of those who decide to consciously create their own life. Bentov observed that this instant is a rare opportunity, the moment when the subconscious is 300% more open to commands, suggestions, and subtle vibrations. It's the fertile ground where the seed of prosperity can be planted. Most people wake up and, even before opening their eyes, dive into automatic thoughts, bills, deadlines, worries. The brain, without realizing it, adjusts its frequency to the chaos of the outer world. But those who have understood Bentov's wisdom know that it's in this exact instant, before the mental whirlwind forms, that the true power of creation manifests. Reality is a wave waiting to be collapsed by awakened consciousness. The theta frequency is the bridge between the conscious and the unconscious, the place where imagination is not fantasy, but vibrational energy capable of altering the fabric of matter. When the mind rests in this range, it vibrates in harmony with universal abundance, the same pulse that governs the expansion of galaxies and the growth of flowers. The brain, in this state, becomes an instrument of attunement with the cosmos. Bentov affirmed that human consciousness is an oscillating field that can be tuned, and it's exactly upon awakening that this tuning happens naturally. If in this moment the individual chooses thoughts of gratitude, fullness, and prosperity, they literally imprint these patterns on the energetic field that surrounds them. It's not about positive thinking, but about subtle physics, an interaction between mind and energy that alters the structure of perceptive reality. The quantum awakening is, therefore, the instant when the universe awaits your instructions. Every thought, emotion, or intention emanated in this sacred window sends a message to the field. When this message is coherent and imbued with genuine feeling, the universe responds with synchronicities, opportunities, and paths that resonate with the vibrational pattern emitted. Those who understand this secret awaken differently. They breathe deeply, keep their eyes closed for a few more seconds, and feel the vastness that pulses within and outside them. They know they are touching the primordial substance that shapes the day's events. Bentov called this moment quantum coherence, the alignment between mind, body, and universal field. While the world still sleeps, the one who awakens consciously initiates a silent dialogue with the universe, and this dialogue becomes the first act of creation of the day. The quantum awakening is not a mystical event reserved for a few. It's consciousness technology available to all who are willing to listen to the silence between one thought and another. And it's in this subtle state, in this vibration of openness and receptivity, that the next step of the journey is revealed, the geometric language that sustains every form of prosperity. When consciousness awakens and anchors itself in this state of quantum coherence, an invisible movement begins to form around the body. Bentov described this as the dance of energetic fields, where each thought, each emotion, draws geometric patterns in the fabric of space. These patterns are not mere abstractions, they are toroidal structures, the same shape that governs everything from the spin of an atom to the spiral of a galaxy. The human mind, when in harmony, emits ordered waves that curve upon themselves, creating a continuous flow of energy. This flow is what Bentov called the toroidal field of consciousness. Within it, everything that is thought and felt begins to gain vibrational density, as if each idea were a small universe in formation. It's at this point that prosperity ceases to be an external search and becomes an energetic pattern that manifests from the inside out. The ancient mystics knew that sound is the first architect of reality. Bentov, with his scientific mind and visionary spirit, proved that sound is also the bridge between thought and matter. By vocalizing specific mantras right upon awakening, the sound vibration interacts with the energetic field, forming luminous spirals that circulate through the body like rivers of light. These spirals are not symbolic. They are real, measurable, and alter the magnetic field of the heart, the most powerful organ in the emission of electromagnetic waves in the human body. Prosperity is a form of coherence. When the words that are pronounced, the emotions that are felt, and the thoughts that are sustained vibrate at the same frequency, the personal field enters into resonance with the universal field. Bentov affirmed that this synchrony generates what he called conscious geometry, an invisible architecture that attracts similar patterns. The mind that vibrates in scarcity creates chaotic and disconnected forms. The mind that vibrates in abundance constructs mandalas of order and expansion. Upon awakening, the sound of the human voice becomes a tool of creation. Each word is a wave that touches the subtle layers of the quantum field. When these words are imbued with intention, they form vortices that connect to what Rupert Sheldrake would call the morphogenetic field, the energetic memory of the universe. In this field, all possibilities already exist, including that of full prosperity. Visualize sound as a golden current that expands from the heart, contouring the body in spirals. Bentov saw in this movement a vibrational portal, a structure that feeds back on itself, attracting to the center of the torus the frequencies compatible with the emitted pattern. Thus, by voicing a mantra of abundance, one is not asking the universe for prosperity, one is activating the very geometry that manifests it. The secret lies not only in the repetition of words, but in the vibrational quality they carry. A phrase pronounced with faith and presence is a command in the code of reality. The field responds not to what is said, but to what is vibrated. That's why the practice of the sacred geometry of prosperity requires more than technique. It requires consciousness. When the human being understands that they are the center of an infinite torus, they begin to perceive that money, opportunities, and resources are expressions of this flow. Everything that spins returns to the center. Everything that is emitted comes back multiplied. And it's at this point that the voice, intention, and body become instruments of the same symphony. This is the prelude to conscious manifestation. The field is formed, the flow is activated, and the next step is to adjust the frequency so that the entire body vibrates in harmony with abundance. That's where the morning vibrational protocol begins. When the energetic field is already in motion, formed by the conscious geometry of thought and voice, it's time to conduct the energy through a specific vibrational code, the mantra. Bentov described the human body as a precision instrument capable of translating intention into vibration and vibration into reality. He observed that certain sounds, especially those emitted in harmonic frequencies like 528 Hz, produce resonances that reorganize the molecular structure of the body and the energetic field. The sound of 528 Hz is known as the frequency of miracles. It acts directly on DNA, restoring patterns of order and vitality, but it also influences the emotional field, creating what Bentov called manifestation resonance. When the mantra is intoned in this vibrational spectrum, it doesn't just echo in the mind, it propagates through the body, realigns the energetic centers, and makes all the chakras vibrate in synchrony. This integral harmony transforms the being into a transmitter of abundance. The morning vibrational protocol begins still in the silence of awakening. With the body at rest and the mind between sleep and waking, the individual becomes highly receptive. In this instant, the repetition of the mantra, "I am an open channel for the infinite abundance of the universe. Money flows to me in avalanches of prosperity," acts as a cosmic password. Bentov demonstrated that the repetition of 7 times is not a random choice. This number corresponds to the 7 main human energetic frequencies, each related to a chakra, creating a complete cycle of vibrational activation. But the effectiveness of the mantra doesn't lie in the words alone, but in the sensation that accompanies it. It's emotion, not logic, that imprints the message in the quantum field. When the individual repeats the mantra with an open heart, feeling abundance as a living presence and not as a distant desire, they instantly alter their vibrational signature. The surrounding field expands, the heart rate stabilizes, and the body enters into coherence. At this point, the universe recognizes them as a point of emission of prosperity. Bentov compared this phenomenon to the tuning of a musical instrument. When the frequency of one string is correct, all the other strings in harmony begin to vibrate spontaneously. In the same way, when the human being vibrates at 528 Hz, their reality begins to respond. Opportunities, ideas, and circumstances move toward this new field of coherence, not because they were sought, but because they are naturally attracted by resonance. The secret is to maintain the emotional state aligned with what one wishes to manifest. The mantra is not a plea, it's a reminder of who the being truly is, a conscious extension of the universe in action. With each repetition, the body learns, the field responds, and consciousness expands. Over time, this practice ceases to be an exercise and becomes second nature, a way of existing. And when this personal field already pulses in a stable way, something even deeper begins to happen. The body, mind, and energetic field enter into a type of invisible communication, a process that Bentov called consciousness technology, the point at which intention transforms into matter. Bentov used to say that the human body is a divine machine, designed to convert consciousness into reality. Every cell, every electrical impulse, every heartbeat participates in a sacred engineering that translates the invisible into the tangible. He saw consciousness as a biological transducer, an instrument that transforms intention into vibration and vibration into matter. By applying this vision to the morning practice, Bentov demonstrated that the mantra doesn't act only on the mind, but on the entire neurological architecture of the body. When words are repeated with presence, the central nervous system enters a state of synchronization. The corpus callosum, that bridge that connects the 2 brain hemispheres, begins to transmit electrical impulses harmonically. The result is the creation of standing waves, measurable energy patterns that travel through the nervous system as if they were strings vibrating in unison. These waves, observed in Bentov's experiments, generate a coherent electromagnetic field around the body. It's this field that interacts with the environment, adjusting its vibrational signature. When the mantra is intoned within this coherence, it ceases to be just sound and becomes an energetic command. The universe doesn't hear words, it responds to vibration. And coherent vibration is interpreted as a clear signal: I am available to receive. In the first 20 minutes after awakening, this natural technology of consciousness operates at maximum intensity. The brain, still immersed in the transition between theta and beta states, finds itself in amplified neural plasticity. This means that any information, thought, image, or emotion is absorbed by the subconscious and converted into a vibrational pattern. When this moment is used to affirm abundance, the energetic field reorganizes according to this information. Bentov compared this dynamic to a satellite dish tuning a frequency. The more precise the tuning, the clearer the signal received. The human being, in a state of vibrational coherence, becomes a living antenna, capturing and emitting frequencies of prosperity. The surrounding field expands, and everything that vibrates in the same range begins to converge toward it. But Bentov went beyond theory. He affirmed that human consciousness can learn to operate as technology, an interface between the inner world and the quantum field. When the individual sustains the vibration of abundance, their biological system reorganizes around this information, from the heartbeat to the respiratory rhythm. It's as if the entire body enters into alignment with the flow of life. This synchronization generates perceptible effects: more mental clarity, sharper intuitions, and a sense of natural confidence. It's not just an emotional change, it's physiological, measurable, and concrete. The energy that was previously dispersed in chaotic thoughts begins to circulate in ordered flow, feeding the field of manifestation. Bentov saw in this practice proof that the human being is a conscious co-creator, a link between the vibrational plane and the physical plane. And when this bridge is activated in the first hours of the day, something new begins to happen: coincidences multiply, opportunities appear, and life begins to move with a precision almost impossible to attribute to chance. This is the entry into the field of significant synchronicities, the point where consciousness stops reacting to the world and begins to direct it. When the bioenergetic field is already in coherence and the body becomes a stable transmitter of vibration, something begins to move around, a sequence of events that Bentov called flow of significant coincidences. It's as if reality responds in real time to the internal state of consciousness, aligning people, opportunities, and circumstances with precision, almost orchestrated. This synchronicity is not chance, it's resonance. The human mind, when it emits a specific vibrational pattern, begins to interact with information fields that contain compatible experiences. Consciousness, then, attracts what confirms the vibration it sustains. Bentov observed that, once this coherence is activated, the universe begins to reorganize external paths to coincide with the individual's internal field. That's why, after days of practicing the morning vibrational protocol, many report improbable experiences. The client who reappears after months, the unexpected proposal, the creative idea that arises during a peaceful shower, or a simple casual encounter that transforms into a new partnership. These are responses from the field, tangible manifestations of the new vibrational signature. Money, in this state, ceases to be a search and becomes a natural consequence of internal alignment. Bentov explained that each coherent thought generates an electromagnetic pulse that propagates beyond the physical body. This pulse interacts with the energetic mesh that connects all things, what he called the continuous fabric of universal consciousness. When the being vibrates in genuine prosperity, their presence begins to influence this fabric, attracting back compatible waves. Life begins to unfold with fluidity, as if invisible forces guide each step. In this state of synchronicity, the individual no longer needs to struggle against the flow of reality. They move with it, and life itself takes care of opening the right doors. Bentov said that this is the true power of the awakened being, to stop being a passive observer and become an active participant in the creation of their own timeline. Abundance, in this context, is not a prize, it's a state of coherence. When the personal field is tuned to the universal field, money flows as circulating energy, not as something to be retained. Everything that arrives because the vibration called it. Everything that remains because it is in harmony with the being's purpose. The conditioned mind, accustomed to scarcity, tries to understand this phenomenon as luck. But what Bentov revealed is that synchronicity is just the natural reflection of expanded consciousness. Luck is just a word the mind uses when it doesn't understand the invisible geometry of subtle causes. And so, the practitioner of abundance awakens to realize that it's not the universe conspiring in their favor, it's they who have finally learned to conspire along with the universe. Every gesture, every thought, and every emotion become part of a continuous dialogue with the quantum field. And when this dialogue is sustained, prosperity becomes inevitable. But Bentov didn't see this practice merely as a means to attract wealth. He understood it as a daily alchemy, a transformation process that reconfigures the being on all levels. It's at this point that the journey reaches its vibrational maturity, when the morning ritual ceases to be an isolated act and becomes a way of living. With the field of synchronicity already active and the mind operating in harmony with the universal flow, the practice expands beyond awakening. Bentov said that the true alchemist of consciousness doesn't separate the spiritual from the everyday, they transform every simple act into an opportunity for coherence. The vibration of abundance doesn't belong only to the morning minutes, it must permeate the entire hours of the day, shaping attitudes, decisions, and perceptions. The body, now attuned to the frequency of prosperity, becomes sensitive to small energy variations. A thought of doubt, an emotion of fear, or a conversation loaded with negativity are sufficient to misalign it from the field of coherence. That's why Bentov taught the importance of internal vigilance, staying conscious of each sensation, of each impulse, so that the vibration conquered at dawn remains alive. It's the maintenance of the state of abundance that transforms the ritual into a lifestyle. During the day, the mantra continues to act as a vibrational code. By recalling it before a meeting, during an important conversation, or when facing a financial decision, the energetic field is reactivated. The simple remembrance of the phrase, "I am an open channel for the infinite abundance of the universe," instantly re-establishes coherence between heart and mind. Bentov described this as the return to the quantum anchor point, where consciousness returns to its axis and the bioelectric field reorganizes. This continuous practice creates a form of presence that alters the very rhythm of time. Impulsive reactions give way to clarity. Worries lose strength in the face of the natural confidence born from coherence. Abundance, then, ceases to be an expected result and becomes a permanent vibration, an energetic identity sustained by each conscious choice. Over 40 days of uninterrupted practice, neurophysiology reorganizes. The brain establishes new circuits, heartbeats enter into harmonic pattern, and the mind begins to operate predominantly in alpha waves, a state of focus and serenity. Bentov saw this process as a vibrational reprogramming, the gradual replacement of old scarcity frequencies with new structures of integrated prosperity. Over time, the being awakens to a deeper perception. Money was never the goal, it's just the mirror of internal flow. True wealth lies in the expanded consciousness that has learned to co-create. The conscious millionaire doesn't accumulate, they flow. They don't desire, they emit. They don't seek, they tune. Life becomes a constant dance between intention and manifestation, where each action, each word, and each pause are expressions of the same primordial vibration that pulses since awakening. Daily alchemy is the point where science and spirituality meet. It's the state in which the heart and brain vibrate in resonance, and the universe responds like a perfect echo. Bentov believed that this is the stage at which the human being stops living from survival and begins to exist from conscious creation. And when this coherence becomes natural, the flow of life reveals itself as it has always been, abundant, expansive, and perfectly synchronized with the essence of the one who observes it awake. Now that you understand the hidden power that lives in the first minutes of your awakening, the choice is in your hands. The universe responds with millimetric precision to the vibration you emit. If every dawn you use this sacred instant to pronounce the mantra, "I am an open channel for the infinite abundance of the universe. Money flows to me in avalanches of prosperity," you'll perceive that nothing that happens around you is random. Prosperity ceases to be a distant goal and becomes a natural extension of your own vibrational field. But remember, it's not the mantra that changes your life, it's the consciousness you activate through it. When you feel, with your entire being, that you are already part of abundance, the universe organizes itself to confirm this truth. So, I ask you, for how many consecutive days are you willing to awaken with intention? Are you prepared to live 40 mornings of deep vibrational reprogramming? Are you ready to observe your financial reality transform before your eyes, not by luck, but by attunement? The decision to begin is simple, but the impact is immense. Do the ritual, feel the change, and see how life begins to respond in an almost magical way. Because, deep down, it was always you who shaped the field. You just needed to remember how to do it. If this knowledge touched something in you, if it awakened a new vision about the power of your consciousness, leave your comment down below. I want to know if you're going to start this ritual tomorrow when you wake up. And if you want to continue learning about how to expand your consciousness and manifest abundance through spiritual science, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. The universe is always listening. And perhaps tomorrow it will be waiting for just your first word.